Hi Cancer, welcome to your daily tarot reading. Thank you for joining me in this reading. I'm going to be using the Lightseers deck and the Lovers Oracle deck. So remember to take what resonates and to leave behind whatever you feel does not from today's reading. So let's find out what messages come through with today's cards. So the first card we have is the Death card. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio with this card. The next card we have is the Queen of Cups. So you could be dealing with a water sign, so another Cancer, a Scorpio, or even a Pisces. And finally, we have the Eight of Swords. So you could be dealing with an air sign with this card. So an Aquarius, a Libra, or even a Gemini. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, so with the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck, this is describing a very happy kind of a connection and the ability to build with somebody who is a very ideal counterpart, and to build something very firm, very solid, and something that is very strong in nature. So this could be building a strong connection, a strong relationship, but it is very committed. It is something that both parties are contributing towards equally, and it is very balanced in nature. And it's also this connection is a source of a lot of happiness and a lot of joy, and it is the kind of connection that has a lot of longevity, and it is one that can stand anything that comes against it. So this is a very strong kind of a connection, and it's also a very strong relationship, and it is a very strong commitment that is being shown with this card that is not going to be broken. It's not easily broken or threatened. And so with the Death card, this is a card that is showing somebody coming out of coming out of perhaps a relationship being at the end and being able to close that chapter and moving into something new. So with this Death and Rebirth, that is the closing of an old chapter and coming into a new chapter. So this could be the end of a connection with somebody else and the beginning of a new connection with somebody else. So I'm getting that this may be perhaps your energy, and you may be perhaps tying up loose ends and closing a chapter on a connection with somebody else that was not fulfilling. What with it being the Death card, that is showing that it wasn't fulfilling, it wasn't working, and coming into this new connection, and this new connection seems to be more promising. It is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it is a beginning that is going to be more fulfilling, and it's more enlivening, and it has a lot more to offer. So this could be your energy, this could also be the other person. So that is the ability to completely be done with an old situation and moving into and embracing a new connection. And with the Queen of Cups, this is showing me that this is a connection that is also very healing in nature. It is very deep. The kind of connection that is shared here is one where there's a lot of love that is shown towards both people in this connection, but it also is the kind of connection where there's a lot of empathy as well. It's almost as though this is a kind of connection that is very spiritual in nature, but it goes very deep. It goes much deeper, and the people in this connection are able to relate to each other on a very deep emotional level, and it is a source of healing for both people in this connection. So with that Eight of Swords, This is a card all about feeling almost kind of smothered, kind of trapped. And I'm really seeing that it's a perception thing. It is almost as though thoughts are running wild, and those thoughts are unfounded. They're not grounded in reality. This is all about feeling a certain way that does not match the reality of a situation. So with this Eight of Swords, this could be describing one person in this connection, but it could also be describing both. And that is all about having these limiting beliefs or these fears that keep creeping up, and that may be causing some kind of tension or maybe causing some insecurity within the relationship. But this Eight of Swords energy may be temporary, and it could be that feeling of feeling uncertain in the beginning of a relationship and not knowing where it's going to lead, perhaps because this Death card is showing that perhaps this is a very new kind of a connection, maybe in the beginning stages. And that Eight of Swords can even be representative of those butterflies and those feelings of whether something is going to work and feeling a little bit uncertain. But with that Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck, definitely this connection has a lot of potential to go the distance. It is not going to be one that needs to trigger that feeling of anxiety. So any source of anxiety is perhaps one that is being brought upon from the past as opposed to from this connection. In fact, with the Queen of Cups, I'm seeing this connection being a source of relief when it comes to any feelings of nervousness, anxiety, or fear. And so this is a connection that I'm seeing is one that it's going to strengthen. And with the Four of Wands being a very balanced energy and two people who are contributing fairly to a connection, I'm seeing that you are able to relate with this other person. So it is a kind of connection where you can even share your concerns with this other person. This other person is going to be very receptive. And in fact, this other person is also going to open up towards you. And I'm seeing that that is where the healing elements of this connection really comes from. So this Eight of Swords is really a feeling that is being curated in the mind from perhaps overthinking. But also, of course, if this is a new connection, perhaps those lingering feelings from the past connections or just any fears that you may have conjured up in a state of being alone prior to getting into this connection. And so if you have not met this person yet, so this is all about being able to perhaps also overcome and question and challenge those thoughts about the way you view relationships and the way you view perhaps the people who are your potential, you could potentially get into relationships with. And that Eight of Swords energy is really a lot of energy that is feeding off of itself. So this has nothing to do with the connection, and I'm really seeing that this is a connection that's very strong in nature, and it is nothing like any previous kind of a connection that you may have experienced. This is one that is going to be very different, and that is in a good way, and it's also going to be one that is very healing. And I'm seeing that this is one that really brings back perhaps your faith in love and in the opposite gender, or in the people, in the way you view people in dating in general. So I'm going to pull out a card for this connection, one card for you, Cancer, and also one card for the other person, just to get more messages and just to find out what is this connection teaching you. So the first card I'll be pulling out is a card for you, Cancer. So this is the card that came out. So it says, only time will tell. Okay, so this could be talking about any feelings perhaps of being nervous, being anxious, or really feeling uncertain, and even any feelings of fear. This is a card that is all about being able to throw away those apprehensions and being able to allow time to really show you what this connection can be and how things can really turn out this time with this connection. So this is all about being able to also have faith and being able to embrace this new connection and giving it a chance. So I'm going to pull out a card for this other person. Okay, so this is the card that came out. So it says, a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Okay, so this being a card for this other person could be this other person using this as a chance to send a message to you. And this is what the person chooses to say, is that they are thinking about you and that they love you and that your love fills them with light. So this is a card all about, perhaps you may have any if you have any hesitations or any fears, any apprehensions, this is a card all about being able to really rest assured in this connection, and that this person has good intentions. This person is coming from a loving place, and really I'm getting that Eight of Swords energy is really what this message is addressing. So this is a card all about being able to rest and let this person's love in so that they can show you. And then I'm going to pull out a card for this connection. So this is the card that came out for this connection, and it says, wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Okay, so with this connection, it may be one it could be starting really quickly, but this is a card that is all about being able to move things slowly. And moving things slowly is what really guarantees that strong foundation. And also, it may also be what is helpful in as far as being able to move at a pace of not allowing the past to intertwine and to come into this new connection. So moving in slowly may be something that could help this connection in really coming into this Four of Wands energy at the bottom of the deck, which is what it's ultimately destined to be. Something very strong, something very committed, and also a connection that is very well balanced, and also that brings a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and seeing that is what is on the horizon for this connection. It is very healing as well. So this may be a kind of a connection that is really teaching you and evolving you and growing you ultimately. Okay, so that is all I have for this reading, Cancer. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, Cancer.